All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are doing part two of reaction to Angry Old Hoops fan vid. The three men who were tricked into playing with Jordan. Quick premise: this is about the No Bull tour going on with Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, and Luke Longley. And I'm not going to get into a bunch here. If you haven't seen part one from yesterday, please watch part one. And let's get right into part two here.
Drexler got 16 in the game. MJ had 35 by the half. That first step is so quick, and that leap to go into the jump shot is so explosive. The defender just looks stunned half the time.
Cracked open
I'm
a
just
beer
going
for
to let
part
these
two here.
clips play, but keep in mind I'm only
Damn,
using clips from the first game in the series so far.
so damn
In fact,
smooth.
I'm only using clips from the first half of that game. One more angle on that. Look at that hang. Man, that's a pretty shot.
It is. Right into the defenders.
Another three. Turnaround fadeaway on Drexler.
By the way, some context on this game. This was Rick Adelman making claims that Jordan can't threes. So basically, it was kind of known going into this game that they're probably going to play off Jordan. So what did Jordan do? Well, he lit him up for threes. He didn't back away from the challenge. And it was basically like, all right, I don't normally shoot threes, but you're going to give it. You're going to get punished. He took it personal.
Nothing you can do about it. You see the frustration in Drexler's face.
Oh, yeah, you're getting lit.
Yeah, I feel like there's a story out there that Jordan didn't develop his shot until later in his career, and the first part was just dunking. This is the second trip to the finals.
Yeah.
And it's been almost exclusively mid-rangers and three-pointers. There's another three-pointer.
Yeah, skill-wise, I think right here is when he hit his peak. This or the next year, one of those 2 years, he hit his actual skills peak. But as far as mentally, he was smarter the next three championships. But he wasn't able to do the things he used to be able to do, so he had to be smarter.
Another mid-range. You could get tired just watching Jordan run up the court after all of his made shots.
Right?
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Did you see that?
Oh.
This is what I'm talking about. They leave a lot of his stuff out because there's no time for
Bang.
it. This is in the finals, and he just smoothly
I know, they never show that clip. Damn.
makes a mockery
Bang.
of the defender coming out to help.
I mean, it's
Drexler
essentially a
can't handle
triple team.
himself. Robinson comes out, tries to get the steal. Jordan just goes around.
Nobody knows
After
what to
a
do with him.
phenomenal move, he just rises up into another beautiful jumper.
It was so smart, too, because right when Clyde Drexler caught up to him, he rose up. It was just nothing you can do about
Of
it.
course, hits it. Poor Grant, poor Pippen. They had that guy on their team.
I feel like I'm one of the trailblazers that sort of help grow the game from a global standpoint. So
Stop right there. Hold up.
I feel like I'm one of the trailblazers that sort of help grow the game from a global standpoint. So
You shut your whore mouth. All right. Scottie Pippen. We had Drazen Petrovic, Vlade Divac, guys like that who came to the league, right? Europeans. Possibly the biggest name out of all of them comes to the Bulls. Tony Kukoc. And dude, Scottie Pippen, if it was up to Scottie, he would have destroyed Kukoc's career. Just destroyed it. He hated him. So you want to call yourself a trailblazer now for this game becoming global when you were actually one of the people who were trying to prevent this and restrict it, thinking that this guy from Europe can't play with us in the US. Oh man, that one pisses me off, Scott. How stupid are you now? Where'd your brain go, man? Phil's a racist, Jordan's a terrible player. and you're a fucking trailblazer for the global game. Do you even know who you are anymore, Scottie?
Never miss an opportunity to praise yourself, Scottie. Jesus, I thought that was LeBron sitting there for a second. What I really think makes me sad is
Straight
that
up.
they are tarnishing not just their own legacies, but tarnishing the memory of the game.
That's what's pissing me off here too. This is my childhood, man. And now these guys are trying to rewrite the history.
And, they come out of retirement to do a shit talking tour. Well, it's not respectful as a human being. It's not respectful as a man. It's a shameful thing to do, no matter what they have to tell the world, no matter how amazing the revelations are.
At the end of the day, they all made millions of dollars and they got to be remembered forever as champions. And they're bitching about it, pretending like victims. Scottie got 6, Horace got 3, Luke got 3. That wouldn't have happened without Jordan, but they're acting like they're victims because they got to go down in history when the world would have never remembered Horace Grant or Luke Longley. Scottie Pippen, we'd still remember him, but not the way we do. Not the way we do.
This is not what that generation was supposed to be about.
No.
But we do live in a society where if you're willing to tell the world a sob story, the cameras can't wait to capture it. And there's certainly plenty of platforms willing to share it. Yeah, maybe that's the grossest thing about that.
It is.
These guys want money and want money badly enough that they're going to cry to the world. And the world is so pathetic that they're going to buy tickets to listen to grown men complain.
Oh yeah, we this nowadays it's just enable the victim. And even if the victim is not actually a victim, just let's give them the attention they want. What do they want? They want attention. They want us to feel bad for them and they want our fucking money. Fuck you guys.
But you know what else this does? Before any of you say, oh, don't hate on Pippen, don't hate on Grant. If they would shut the fuck up, I wouldn't. But when
Straight
Pippen
up.
was mouthing off so much, it made me take a closer look at his game.
Yeah, yeah. It did that for me too. Angry Old Hoops. Um, what's your name, man? I'm still getting used to your channel. Angry Old Hoops fan. It did the same for me because actually I was one of the biggest Scottie Pippen fans on the face of the earth because I saw him as the most unselfish player ever, you know, because he is a badass. He was a badass, but he was playing the support role to Jordan. And I thought he didn't have this super inflated ego. So I was like the biggest Scottie Pippen fan all the way until a couple years ago. Then he starts mouthing off and trying to just shit all over everything. And that's when I started paying more attention to Pippen. I get attacked all the time in the comments because I'm bashing Scottie or whatever. Really, I'm just spouting some facts. You know, numbers are numbers, stats are stats, and the eye test doesn't fail, you know? So I'm not bashing Scottie. He was the number 2 guy, but him mouthing off the way he does now, pretending like Jordan was a trash player and Phil was a racist and Pippen was the leader. Fuck you, dude. It's disgusting.
And it made me realize, well, wait a minute. I was perfectly willing to believe that Pippen was all that. But the more I watched, I was like, wow, Pippen had even more flaws than The Last Dance revealed.
Pippen got to take a lot of days off. So he'd have terrible games, but Jordan would come in and clean it up. Happened all the way into the end of their run. 98 finals. Scottie played terribly. Jordan freaking carried him on his back.
And now I'm going to take a look at Horace Grant
Yeah,
and Pippen side by side.
let's do it.
Longley, that doesn't even feel worthwhile.
No, that's just cruel.
I'm wondering how they even talked him into doing this. He must be hurting for money too. Longley, for fuck's sakes.
Luke Longley was
Luke
terrible.
Longley, the missing chapter. Stop it.
Oh, I saw
Okay.
that.
All right.
I saw that. Okay. Context on that. So Luke Longley wasn't in the documentary, right? Because he lives in Austria. So didn't fly down to the US to do it. And it was you know, it was pandemic time. So this was 2020 and they couldn't exactly travel. So I don't even want to give Luke crap. He couldn't travel to them. They couldn't travel to him. And maybe they should have done something like a video call or something to get him in there. That probably would have been the right thing to do. But it didn't happen for whatever reason. And that documentary wasn't supposed to come out for another 6 months. But it came out early because we had no sports and we needed some entertainment. So, ESPN pushed it. So that's the context on that. If Luke is still pissed off about that, even though they did this whole episode on Luke Longley, the Last Dance missing chapter, and it was just all Luke. He technically got more attention than anybody else because of it. But if he's still bitter about that, uh, which I don't believe he is, I think Luke got conned. He got conned into this bullshit.
If we're going to say things like that, we are also missing a chapter on Scott Williams.
Oh,
Stacey
God.
King, Cliff
Stacey
Livingston,
King, Cliff.
Bob Hansen. Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
They
Bob
left
Hansen.
out Bob Hansen.
Oh, yeah. Jordan had stacked teams. These stacked rosters, man.
The fact that these people were fortunate enough to play with the GOAT has
They got free rings.
infected their minds and made them, looking back now, they probably have some toxic people whispering in their ears telling them, you could have been even greater if you hadn't been in his shadow. No.
Oh yeah, they're agents.
You wouldn't have existed if you hadn't been with him, is more likely the case. But this idea that these people weren't given enough time in The Last Dance makes me want to share something with you. I've said in other episodes, this was a 10-hour series. Each part in the 10-part series was an hour. 5 minutes total. 5 minutes total out of 10 hours were given to looking at Michael Jordan and the Bulls' first championship.
Wow.
Facing Magic Johnson and the Lakers.
That's shocking because Jordan lit it up. Actually, those first 3 rings, Jordan's numbers were sick. And they don't cover it. They cover it as a team overcoming the challenge. Same with the Pistons. It was the team doing it when in reality, yeah, man, Jordan put up 50% of the stats.
5 total minutes.
5
and you
minutes.
guys think Luke Longley deserves his own chapter? But it's not just who they left out. It's what they left out for Michael Jordan's career. I thought that they did this series in a very entertaining manner. I thought it flowed very well, and I thought they included a lot of interesting information.
I think so too.
And
I mean, they didn't have to give Steve Kerr all that backstory and attention like they did, because I mean, he was just he was an role player. Came in, shot a couple threes, but he was so bad at defense, he didn't get to play very many minutes. But they gave him a lot of attention, and I thought that was cool.
And in order to include some of those other things, they left out a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Of what Michael did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his career was far beyond the highlights that were shown. And that brings me to today. I already looked at the 91 finals when I was shitting on Scottie Pippen. I decided to look at the 92 finals to talk about Horace Grant. Horace Grant, you fucking glorified rebounder. I mean, boo-hoo-hoo that one of your teammates was hard to be around sometimes, but he made sure that you won.
Hot take, I'd rather have Dennis Rodman, because Dennis Rodman, at least he got more rebounds, and he was able to guard multiple positions successfully. So considering Horace Grant got so few points, like 8 points a game, I would take Rodman and his 4 points a game, but all those extra rebounds and the eye test shit, the stuff that he did that nobody saw, or I'm sorry, that the stats don't show.
Yeah. Did everyone forget that this is a job? I can understand why you would forget in today's game. These guys barely even show up to work and just keep demanding more and more and more. But this was a job, a great
Yeah,
job. I wish I
yeah.
had that job,
Good high
but
paying
it's
job.
still a job. So, how did it get into everyone's minds that NBA careers are supposed to be just fairy tales with no hardships whatsoever?
Well, it doesn't feel like a job anymore because these guys just show up for work even when they were hurt. Nowadays, you're lucky if you get these guys to show up, they what, 60 games or 82? You're lucky. They had to put that punishment for whatchamacallit, load managing this season, where you're not basically available for awards if you do this, if you don't make it at least 60 games, something like that. But can you imagine that? Imagine you in your job. You work 82 days a year, right? That's your job. 82 days a year, you have to show up to work. And you can't even show up to 60 of them. You call in sick. That's it's ridiculous. Now imagine you're getting paid, well, almost $1 million per one of those games, one of those days of work. Show up to work today. You'll make about $700,000. Cool. Do that 60 times. Yeah, looking good. Come and get your 40 mil. Son of a bitch. Some of us work for minimum wage.
They should get to play with whomever they want to play with. They should get to be coached by whomever they want. Be in the city that they want to live in.
Show up to work when they
Everyone's
want to.
entitled to a max contract.
Yeah, yeah, give me my 40 mil.
Everyone is deserving of their own documentary. No one should have to take a lesser role than they think they deserve. No one should have to go through the hardship of having guys on the team that they don't like. Horace Grant built up a career for himself by being alongside Michael Jordan.
Hmm.
Michael retired. Horace Grant went to Orlando.
Orlando.
And then there, he had Shaq and Penny, and one good run.
Yeah.
You make it to the finals, and you fall flat on your faces.
Yep.
You know what was
And he acted like the man, too. That was the funny thing because he was a veteran.
missing in the finals? The asshole on the team with the mentality to make sure that you got over the finish line. You missed having Michael Jordan badly in that situation. So, yes, that same season, the Orlando Magic overcame Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan barely coming out of retirement.
Man, Penny was my favorite for those couple of years Jordan was out.
In time to be ready for the finals. Whatever, don't need to make excuses for him. Sometimes people fail. People are quick to talk about Jordan's failures, maybe because there were so few. In other people's cases, they're quick to cover up the failures.
Yeah, like people bring up that he lost to Boston in what, 80, what the fuck was that year? 86 or whatever. Like, give me a break.
But you know who they didn't talk about? Scottie, who thinks he's the man. While Jordan takes all the blame, look at Scottie's numbers. In the Game 1 loss to Orlando, Scottie had 7 points,
Oh,
2
boy.
of 11 in shooting. In the Game 5 loss, 4 of 13 shooting
Oof.
for 10 points. He went 1 of 6 from the free throw line. Maybe Scottie should be
1 of 6 from the free throw line, Scottie.
thankful that he played alongside a guy who took all the blame and is remembered for getting pickpocketed by Nick Anderson, instead of people thinking about, well, how come Scottie, who wanted to be the man so bad, couldn't have filled in?
He nailed it on the head. And all right. Jordan took all of the responsibility when they lost. He took it all. And then when they won, he shared the glory with his team. Every single time. It was never about him. It was about the team. The team did this. We did this. We all accomplished this. LeBron, the exact opposite. When they win, I want my damn respect. He's not giving praise to anybody else on his fucking team. But when they lose, that's the important thing. The really important thing. When they lose, he deflects all the blame. It's never his fault they lost those 6 championships. I guarantee. Show me the clips. He never failed, according to him. It was never his fault. and it's bullshit.
At least the Bulls won 2 games in that series. I would think what is in Horace Grant's mind worse is getting swept the very next season by those Bulls.
Yeah, payback's a
rather than
bitch.
going back to the finals and redeeming the collapse from the year before. We're talking about looking at the end of your career, Horace, while Michael Jordan starts
Starting
a
phase
new
2.
chapter in his. And speaking of that, The Last Dance made sure to show plenty of Michael Jordan's shortcomings. So again, this idea that the documentary was 100% glory and only about Michael, which is, I guess, what these guys are upset about. They're like,
Oh, no. Yeah, they spent more time showing him fail on his comeback to the Magic than they did him winning his first fucking championship against the Lakers.
oh, it was all about Michael. Did you watch the series? Here's another play from game 1 where Jordan is guarding his man and sees the pass coming, sees that Grant is out of position, and comes over and deflects the pass. Let me just point them out for you real quick. And now watch Jordan's really fast hands. But the more important part is Grant saying, hey, thanks for having my back there.
Right?
Gee, Horace, really sucked having Jordan as a teammate, didn't it? And you know LeBron, especially 2024 LeBron, would just let the guy go right by and then point fingers afterwards instead of helping. Speaking of, as I watch this game, I'm realizing Jordan doesn't really have any demonstrative body language, anything that looks terribly discouraging or really exposing too much at all.
You really don't see much of that. In the second three-peat, him and Phil Jackson go at Luke Longley pretty hard. Justifiably so, though. Like, Luke Longley pissed us off because he looked like he didn't know where he was half the time. You know what I mean? There was no fire in his belly. That's the only person I really saw Jordan go off on.
If he was hard on them, it must have been in practice, because during the game, he looks like he's just there to do his job. Personally, I'd rather have someone be hard on me in practice so that I look better once I'm out there on live television.
Yeah.
Rather than on live television, when I screw up, the teammate comes over and makes sure the whole world knows that I'm the one who screwed up.
Like LeBron does. Yeah. I feel the same way. I'd rather have a leader who would talk to me in private about the bad shit that I did, opposed to just like right in the middle of live TV, the whole world is watching.
LeBron James. I'm going to interrupt myself.
I knew it.
Take a look at this. This banquet was so entertaining with these 3 stars on the stage that they also had to have a painter who was going to have this finished by the time that it was over of the players. And when it ended, turns out they only painted Scottie Pippen. So how do the other guys feel about that? Kind of got left.
Well, they're only going to get the ticket holders are only going to get a picture with Scottie. So, oh man, how much you guys want to bet Scottie's taking 50% of this?
Out. Now Luke and Horace are going to have to go on a tour talking about Scottie. Let's take a look at
yeah,
another
they will.
Play.
And his
Horace
inflated ass
the ball
ego
here, but you see Scottie's not throwing it into him. I don't think Horace is a good enough threat, but you see that Jordan draws the D and then dishes off to the center who was able to score.
Wow, you actually hit that.
The X factor in the first 3 and the second 3, I would have kicked Dennis Rodman's ass.
I'd like to have seen that.
Yeah. Horace Grant continues to do
boy.
things that grown men shouldn't do. He's mimicking what the kids today do and saying, I could have, I would have, if this and if that, and says that he would have kicked Dennis Rodman's ass.
Okay, he never actually did. He had the opportunity to. All right. Dennis Rodman played for the Pistons, the bad boy Pistons. And yeah, the Bulls. We all know the history there. No, Dennis Rodman outplayed you in all those series, bro. You had a chance to kick his ass and you didn't. So shut up, man.
Now, whether it's true or not, what the hell is the point and talking about something that no one can prove and never happened. That's childish shit. That is just childish shit. And I'm not so sure many people buy into that. Rodman had a much more illustrious career than Horace Grant.
Yeah, he did.
Rodman was quite the player on the Pistons.
He got
well
5
before
rings.
his career got even better being a part of the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Horace, your memory's weird. Dennis Rodman was part of the team that swept you.
There it is.
Swept you. I think it's weird for anyone to talk shit about things that can never be proven. This woulda, shoulda, coulda, and especially coming from these older men who are supposed to be above that. I don't think anyone should have the right to ever get to talk shit to anyone ever again if you got swept. You
Fair.
really can't talk shit to the guy that swept you. And
Fair.
guess what, Horace? He never made it back into a situation where we'd ever get to see the matchup again. You were pretty much done.
Yeah, so he's not even covering the Pistons part, but he covered the part I didn't think of. Yeah, he did get a chance to go head to head against Rodman, and yeah, the Bulls swept them. So okay,
That was pretty much the end of Horace Grant. Carried by Michael Jordan for 3, almost carried by Penny and Shaq for 1, but didn't even happen, and you were gone.
yeah, damn. Dude, these long pauses. Dramatic effect or what, man? And then it's still playing. Where are we, man?
Honestly, what do you
Well,
think they could possibly reveal? What's going to shock anyone? That he yelled at people? That he demeaned people? That he got physical with people? Well, that's already been admitted. But
Yep.
here we are, 2024, where men are no longer ashamed of whining publicly, but get to monetize it. I mean, Scottie did enough whining in The Last Dance. I played in dirt. It would be dusty. Fucking bitch. I had a migraine. I was basically
Yeah.
blind. I didn't like that Phil Jackson didn't call my number.
He's a racist.
I didn't like the contract that I signed.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, dude. Did you
Victim.
consider while filming The Last Dance that you should complain less? Maybe more of the content, more of your on-screen time could have not been about you complaining.
Yeah. Dude, ugliest
Look
shot ever, by
at
the way.
that incredible dick, number 23. The only one on the team. Fist bumping Cartwright. You know, there's another way of wording all of this, and it's that these guys
Good
wanted
rebound, man.
The Last Dance to lie, to
Damn.
make them look better. You know, if you're mad that The Last Dance showed your low points, aren't you essentially saying, hey, I want you to edit history to glorify me? Make sure that you make me look as good as possible and leave out the bad parts. That's not really very respectable either, is it?
No. I mean, he didn't do that with anybody. He didn't see Dennis Rodman complaining. They showed Rodman at his worst. 'Cause that's part of his history, you know? He played with the Bad Boys Pistons, and they let him go because mentally he got so unstable. Nobody was comfortable anymore. You know, they had to let him go. They showed all that. You don't see Dennis Rodman complaining about it. This whole thing is supposed to be a story about a team that overcame all these obstacles and conquered. They won all these championships. They were a dynasty despite all this shit that was standing in their way. But these, fucking Scottie over here wants to pretend like he's a victim because of that, because he wanted to bury anything that he ever did that wasn't perfect. It's like the Tiger Woods thing from back in the day, that squeaky clean image you want. It's not real. Real life is
I'm going to
sloppy.
go out on a limb and say Scottie had a lot more low points than were shown. In fact, if you look at some of my old episodes, I showed that The Last Dance actually did Scottie some favors and made him sound better than he was in a few situations. Oh, Scottie. Scottie needs us so much. Look at him in his fucking tuxedo.
He needs so
Is he
much
going to wear a
attention.
tuxedo on the tour? I'm going to share something with you really quick. This is another clip that I found of them trying to promote this thing and Scottie coming to Australia for it.
Oh my God,
And
Scottie.
walking around kind of like, oh, no, not the limelight. And there's nobody there. The cameras have to keep switching angles so that it's not obvious that there's nobody there.
Okay, this is just embarrassing now.
This just speaks a lot to me that the simplest answer is probably the right one. This is just jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Scottie wanted what Michael had, but he wasn't Michael. One
Nope.
other thought. I already
Not even Kobe was Michael. And that guy really tried.
realized this when looking at the Pistons and the Knicks and the Pacers. There were some big guys, some big athletic players back then. Today, the narrative almost had me convinced the bigger, faster, stronger thing. But again, I'm looking at Portland. They got some big. Look at Jerome Kersey. That is not a small man.
No, he's not.
Didn't, have the weight training back then. So this is just how physically gifted these men were without the training.
Yeah, they're just naturally
Duckworth,
strong freaking
that
men.
Dude was 7 foot 275. He's not ripped, but I would rather run into Giannis in a dark alley than Duckworth. Holy crap, that guy's a mountain. Really long episode. I hope you stuck through it. I don't feel like doing a multi-part series on this, so I tried to fit everything into this one, but who knows? I might just have to go back and analyze even more of Horace Grant and his glorified rebounder career. But let me know what you thought of this. And in these final clips, just look at the bench. Doesn't exactly look like there's much animosity going on there. And Jordan doesn't look like he's trying to be bigger and better than anyone else.
Just a guy showing up to work, doing a job.
Complete the job.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think, everyone.
Yep. I think me and you think very alike, is what I think. Yeah, man. Really, I'm 2 videos in on Angry Old Hoops. I hope he does a continuation of this because this is actually really interesting. But I hope he switches gears from Horace Grant into Luke Longley. And yeah, because he's on this tour, so it's only fair. It's only fair. It's like running for president at this point. Like, your dirty laundry is gonna get aired out, man. We're gonna find it and make videos on it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. This was part 2. Check out part 1 if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen Angry Old Hoops Fan, sounds like if you like my content, you probably like his content. So, yeah, go check him out. Send him some love. And yeah, do the same for me. Like, subscribe, comment. It goes a long way on growing this channel. And yeah, I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.